Good afternoon and welcome here to another great conversation about the tax month, that is the URA, and a couple of more discussions we've had in the previous past. And today we're discussing about the customs, the tax amendments, and if you're one of those who import in this country, this conversation is going to be very pertinent to you. With me in studios today, I have Mr. Henry Kanwezi and Justin Namsabi, officers from the Customs Department of the Uganda Revenue Authority, and this program is powered by Uganda Revenue Authority, developing Uganda together. My name is Andrew Chamagiro, and the conversation today, you can be a part of it. Just go on Twitter, look for NTV Uganda, and while you see it there, you'll be in position to actually join the conversation. The hashtag is NTV Uganda. I will actually tap a little bit of that. Good afternoon, my dear guests. Good to see you, Henry.
Thank you.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year indeed. It's a pleasure
Happy
to be
New Year,
here.
Justin.
Happy New Year.
Good to see you.
Good to see you.
So I want to start off with a very good conversation, Henry. What should an importer look out for in this new financial year?
Thank you very much, our moderator today. I think as an importer, and as when customs comes up, you're interested because this is your business now. So importers should look out for what is in there for them in these new amendments. What is in place for them? What is their take home? Okay. As they deal with customs, as they bring in what their imports.
Their imports.
Yes.
Justin, just to come to you, I want to understand the country is the 5 pillars of development. They have been categorized into services, into ICT, industrialization, and manufacturing. I want to know, what is URA doing in terms of incentives to industries that are locally doing their work here, or they bring in raw material for their industries?
Thank you, and good afternoon to our viewers. Yeah, there are areas concerning the industrialization. Remember, Uganda is mainly an agricultural country, and we are looking at value addition, industrialization, promoting mechanization, and all other sectors, not necessarily industry, but there are also other sectors which need to be looked into.
So the government is it giving them a couple of incentives? And if they're giving these industries or manufacturers incentives, what kind of clusters are these kind of manufacturers?
Yeah, the manufacturers we are looking at mainly agriculture. Okay. We are looking at areas like health. We had the COVID, people who are engaged in the production. So to make it affordable to the local people, you have to reduce on the cost of production. And government's interest is to see that as many people as possible go into some of those sectors for us to stop from importing, and we are promoting import substitution so that the raw materials are affordable and people are able to produce, so that by the time the goods are coming out, they are affordable to our local Ugandans. Wow,
that makes a lot of sense, Henry. You imagine yourself, you are a local industry, a small-scale industry. Would you tap in this opportunity, or it has a cap on particular industries? Does it cover to the SMEs, or it goes just from SMEs and above?
Thank you very much once again. These incentives that are in place are cross-cutting. They don't look at how much you have, but they will benefit you as long as you are in the manufacturing industry, or you are in that sector that is being supported. You will be benefiting from them. And we have these incentives in form of remission of duty. That is where, say, we have a CET, which we call the Common External Tariff, as East Africa. So we have certain rates of import duty. So as a manufacturer, if, say, you have a raw material you're bringing in a certain sector, and that raw material is at 25%, now remission comes in to reduce that duty to 10 or 0, such that you have
Either commensurate or East African rate?
No, this one it's under remission.
Oh.
It's a scheme. It's a duty remission scheme that usually we send out to UMA, Uganda manufacturer, that body that
that brings them all together.
That brings them all together. So we send it out to them at a certain period, at say at the beginning of the financial year, and they send it out to their members such that they can apply. Oh. Yeah,
so it's for applying.
You apply. You have to show interest.
Does that mean if I'm not in the Uganda Manufacturers Association, I'm not in position to tap into the opportunity then?
No, this information is out there.
Okay.
We put it out on our websites, and even in such discussions with taxpayers.
So when someone applies for this incentive, do they get like a token card or a particular feature they have to display upon arrival of the goods in customs?
As customs, these are policies that we have to find procedures to implement these policies.
The frameworks, yes.
Yeah. So what we do is we have certain procedures we put in place to have these policies put in play at customs as you import. So we have certain codes we give them, and we give them letters that they present at importation, such that when you're importing and you have this letter, even the system is set. Once it is what is given this incentive, you will clear it out of customs without hassle.
Wow. Conversation is about the tax, the customs, the tax, and it's getting very interesting. Justine, these incentives you've hinted about, are they effective in this financial year, or they have been around but we just didn't know how to tap into them?
Yeah, thank you. Some of them are already existing and they are ongoing. Then there are new ones which they've added in due to certain sectors depending on the need. And you're seeing that currently we are having rising prices. So how do you help the local manufacturer? So you have to look into that you bring down the import duty or the taxes which will be paid on those items so that it can be able for somebody to break even and at least be able to compete in the market.
Oh, that is that is in tandem with the Bubu agenda.
By Uganda.
By Uganda. And of course, Uganda Revenue Authority says developing Uganda together. Henry, let's talk about the new, I know there are not so many new procedures within the customs, but they are modified approaches. We hear URA has modified in terms of customs. You mind sharing some of those?
Thank you very much, moderator, once again. Yeah, we have put in place, we had COVID, so we didn't have that contact. So we developed a help tool. This is a platform where you can you can have a request online, and without meeting you, we give you feedback. Maybe tax treatment, tax classification. In customs we classify things. We don't call each other. We have codes. We have codes. It's an international harmonized system. Yeah, it's an international, such that when I speak it in Uganda, the Chinese will know what I'm talking about. So you can request for classification guidances, all treatment online via that help tool that we have in place. So
it helps the importer to know what is on the other side, and you, the taxman here, to understand what is actually inbound coming.
Exactly.
Makes sense. Justin, again, I'm going to take you again to the tax. We have 35% the import rate. Break it down for us.
Thank you once again. This one has been mainly introduced on products which are locally produced here. The normal duty rate, which is in the common external tariff, which used as EAC, East African Community, is between 0, 10, and 25. But for protection of industries, local industries, certain key items which we are producing here, they have made it a bit higher to move it to 35, so that a local producer can be able to compete. So some of those items, you make sure, assuming we are producing, we are in an agricultural country, we produce agricultural products. You are producing juice. So if you allow importation of juice, then what will happen to the local person who is, you're suffocating the local industry. True. So for us, for government to promote the local producer, and the same way is to make sure that we encourage more of local production than importing some of those products which we can produce locally. So certain items, a certain number has been raised from 25 to 35% import duty.
And this, to you, my great viewer, just to make context to this, these will include the meat products and cereals, iron and steel products, cotton, textile, edible oils, beverages and spirits, furniture, like Henry here said, tea, spices, and a couple of more others have actually been put into that. Henry, I wanted to talk about something to do with tax exemptions at customs. Do you have goods that are exempted from taxes there?
Thank you very much. Yes, we do have those.
Like?
Medical items. We have what we call the fifth schedule. It has a number of, as East Africa, we sat down with our partner states and then discussed our needs as a region. So we have these exemptions. There are a number of them. We have incentives, exemptions in tourism, like importers of tourism cars. When you import those vehicles, the four-wheel drives, Land Cruisers, or these cars, you can enjoy an exemption. Then we have medical equipment that is exempted 100%. If you're a hospital, a clinic, a laboratory, and you're using these items, you won't pay taxes. We have then other exemptions in agriculture for the farmers, those in agriculture, beekeeping farmers, those in the real agriculture. We have all those exemptions in place to support these industries that seem to be pertinent to our development as a region.
Okay. The conversation is about customs tax. I'm trying as much as I can to stay within my lane of customs, because usually when you get anyone from URA, you want to ask every question you have.
Sure.
But let's just stay into customs. Earlier on, Justin, you hinted about the incentives that are there for the industrialists. Now, there are some other special government projects on our end as media, the ones we know. Do you have special government projects URA is in one or the other supporting in regards to Bobo as well? The ones that may not include the ones you actually mentioned earlier, but these are special government projects.
Thank you once again. I think this refers mainly to the key sector of promoting tourism. So for persons who are engaged in construction, you know, when you're setting up a hotel, there is government's effort to promote that sector. So the incentives for use in the sector for certain key tourism, hotels, they have that incentive on the raw materials which are being imported for use in the construction of those projects.
Okay. So those are the special government projects?
Yeah.
Okay. Again, I want to understand, then what are the key sectors? The ones that are getting the, now those don't fall under the special government projects, but now the key sectors. Earlier on, he alluded to something like the tourism, that cars of tourism, when they come through, then, you know, they're tax exempted in one or the other. But there are other key sectors. One would actually want to know that, oh, these ones actually are supported by URA in terms of taxes.
Yeah, leaving alone about the construction, yes, there are other, like for hotels, there are equipment, like if you're staying in a hotel, you need to furnish it. Yeah. You find like the furniture, fridges, freezers, there are items you use, cutlery, then there is things like curtains, bed sheets, which you may need to use. Those ones are exempt. Then there are sectors like agriculture. For persons who are engaged in agriculture, assuming you are in fish farming, the fish feeds are exempted. Okay. If you're importing things like agriculture, tractors, they are exempted if you're a farmer. If you're engaged in bee farming, the beehives, because you have to collect somewhere, you find they are exempt. If a person is engaged in the medical sector, like you're looking at licensed hospitals, they also have, you know, when you're admitted, you need to sleep on a bed, a mattress, then the equipments which you use, like the vacuums which have to suck in the air and all that, certain special equipment which are used in hospitals are also exempt. There are other sectors. If you are assuming like a local council, vehicles engaged in garbage collection.
No.
For a local administration like a KCCA and those companies which are licensed to collect garbage on behalf of the local administration, they are exempt. Then we have ordinarily like you and me. You can decide to buy mangoes from Sesorot, you're bringing them to Kampala. You have the refrigerated truck. You are free to buy it because you're promoting value addition and also avoiding wastage on the way to preserve those items. So the refrigerated trucks and refrigerated trailers are exempted from tax.
Now, when we talk about that, Justin, what I want to know, what do I avail to prove that I'm in this business? Is there some kind of documentation I need to prove to URA that this is what I do? I am a local mango collector, but I've been doing my business this way, and now I want to buy this particular truck. It's going to cost me this much money, and I want to bring it in the country. Do I have to present some paperwork there?
There are two categories of exemptions. There is the specific and general.
Okay.
If you're importing under the specific, you must fulfill certain conditions. Like if you in the tourism sector, you must be a member of the Uganda Tourism
Association.
Yes.
Or tourism board.
Tourism board, and you must be registered. You have a license from Ministry of Trade and Tourism, because you need that license to confirm that you're engaged in that. And even before you import that vehicle, it must fulfill certain conditionalities.
On its end?
On its own, because it must be given a certain color which it blends with the environment. It must have an open roof. Of course, you will not go viewing animals when you're peeping in the window. You must at least enter up there, and it must be a four-wheel drive, and it has a number of persons it carries. So you will not go and bring a bus and you say you're going to use it. So it has
for tourism.
Yes.
Okay.
So it must have the facilities, provision for camping, at least in the back. You know that if somebody is going to stay here, there is that provision. So there are certain conditionalities you fulfill. If it's a hospital, you must be licensed.
As a hospital?
Yes. That is, I think, Ministry of Health.
Ministry of Health, yes.
But for agriculture, there is where you have to visit and confirm. But usually we get a recommendation letter from the district agriculture officers, because we are not in position to go and see everybody. At least somebody must confirm that the ABCD is engaged in this business for you to benefit. But for the general ones, you can import because it is general to anyone to
apply for it.
To apply or to import the item, provided it is there.
It's very interesting. I didn't know that there are even specifics about the color. No wonder they are all green. They have a
green or brown.
Yes.
Because it must blend with the environment, you know. Usually animals.
In the park, yes.
Because you are not supposed to disturb the animals.
Yes.
So it has to be color, the color of the ground, brown or green.
The vegetation. That makes a lot of sense. Just to bring it to, thank you so much, Justin. You just made a lot of clarity on that. Henry, do you have other incentives in the VAT department?
Thank you very much. Yes, we do have incentives for for
you know,
importers.
when we hear about incentives, we are interested to hear the incentives that we can actually be more compliant.
That's true.
Yes.
We have what we call VAT deferment for for importers of plant and machinery. This is where you will not pay VAT at importation, at the point of importation. This helps you have some cash flow. This was put in place to enable players and manufacturers of plant and machinery to have some disposable and lower their costs of what? Of importation. So when you import and the 18% is deferred, this is a good thing for you, because you mainly you will find that machinery in the CET, or what we call the Common External Tariff, that we use as East Africa and with all our partners, machinery mainly will be at 0%. So if you don't pay the 18% of VAT, you are good to go. You have some more disposable money, and your cost of production is lower.
That is to the manufacturers.
Yes.
The others there?
Here they are. Like in the VAT, the second schedule, we have items that are specifically exempted and zero rated. Yes.
Items like?
We have like the hose. Those are in the third schedule. These are items that are zero rated. Seeds for planting. We have medicines. When you're importing these things, VAT is 0%. Then for agriculture also, you will have a number of items like planters, these harvesters.
Even the combined harvesters, these are the big ones like the Dutch. That one, that is a big combined harvester.
That is zero at import.
Comrades, we better get in agriculture at a very big scale.
Yes.
And when they come through, as long as you give in the letter from the district agriculture officer with evidence that you're indeed a farmer who is trying to scale up your business, they get through. Yeah,
you get through. You know, we can't go everywhere, but as the government has ministries that are in place. So you have district agriculture officers that are closer to you. So when you provide evidence, if they can write and recommend you that really Mr. Andrew Chamager has a farm running on this acreage, who are we to refuse?
Wow. Great conversation. Justine, I want us to talk about the duty remission when it comes to VAT, rather when it comes to customs. Some people don't understand this. Even when they hear it, I think maybe the language is just too technical for us to understand it. For starters, what is duty remission? Okay, let me drop it back to Henry here, because Henry seems to be much more with that. Let's go to the duty remission. I want to understand it as a Omuntu once, because every time you hear you on radio and all, they're talking about duty remission and you're like, okay.
Thank you very much, Andrew. Duty remission, duty remission scheme is a facility provided under the IACMA, the East African Community Customs Management Act, 2004. It's under Section 140. It's a facility to help manufacturers, because as East Africa we realized to grow, to go to that middle income, we need industries. So what this facility does, we reduce the duty rate in the CET. That book I told you the Common External Tariff. Yeah. Duty is reduced from say 25 to 10 or to 0. Okay. This helps. This is import duty we are talking about. So you will import you bring in your raw materials at a lower cost to help you be competitive
in the market. Oh, okay.
True.
This is very interesting. Thank you so much. At least now that we understand. Back to you, Christine. Rather, Justin, we want to understand the market of goods we are promoting in East Africa. You see, farmers have always had, goods, and they have added value addition on some products, even here in Uganda. But taking them into the region, we have always had people say, is it a COMESA rate? Is it East African rate? When we hear this, what does it mean to importers?
Thank you. When you're producing, since we are within the common market, unless where a particular country like Uganda is enjoying a facility which other members are not enjoying. When you export those items within the region, they are supposed to be zero import duty. But remember also, exports as exports, they are incentives. Exports do not attract any tax. So if you are exporting outside Uganda, there are even facilities or incentives for packaging material, even for exports, is imported free of duty. So if you are an exporter and you want to send your goods, say, to Zambia or beyond, and you want to import raw material for packaging of those products, they will be imported in at free of import duty, provided you confirm that they have been. Because even when you're producing, it should be indicated for export only, so that those packaging do not end up on the what? On the local market, because it will be a disadvantage to others who are paying tax, and yet you're not paying tax, and you're supposed to take it out.
What is the penalty if someone is found, abusing such a facility? He said for export only, but you find him somewhere in Nakasero competing with the local farmers. Do you have penalties there?
True. We do have penalties. We have, I told you, have a East African Community Common
Tariff?
Yeah, that's Act. We have section 200 and 203. These are on misdeclaration. If you know, as customs, we give you a chance to tell us what you're bringing. We don't dictate.
What do you mean by the word chance?
We give you.
You have all the capacity to see what I have.
Yes.
Okay.
But we ask you to declare to us what you've brought in.
Okay.
So if you misdeclare,
or you underdeclare, or you misclassify, or you tell us what you've not brought, but you lie to us, the law allows us to come back and penalize you. Yes. It's getting heated up. I need to know for this month, because there are very many importers and exporters who get exemptions meant for export, but they are playing within the market. We need to know what is their penalty. Is it between 10 million and 100 or so?
Come again?
The fines.
The fines.
Yes, we want to know the range of the money that the penalty could possibly carry.
I think this will depend on what you brought.
Oh,
because
it's a case-on-case basis.
Yes, it's a case-on-case basis.
Okay.
What do I mean? If you got an exemption and you didn't pay tax worth 100 million, we are going to come and collect that money, because we have evidence that's what you brought in. What you presented at importation is not what is what.
What should know?
What is really doing? What you're really doing with the items that you took out of customs.
We would like to know about the service channels that are available to support taxpayers in customs. People usually want to pay a lot in customs, but customs is such a big department that confuses all of us. When you go to the borderlines and they tell you customs that side, it's a little bit complex. Do we have particular channels that are available to support taxpayers in customs?
Yes. We do have these channels. I told you about the online help tool, the customs help tool.
Okay.
Yes, where importers can ask and interact with customs. Yeah, that's one platform. Then as URA, we have also come up with a customer service helpline. You can always come and ask all those questions that you want to ask.
Those ones speak and they talk good.
They have the good English. So we have a WhatsApp number nowadays running.
Okay.
Yes, that number is on our page. You can always come on WhatsApp, ask those questions, those pertinent questions that you think are hard for you on your end, and you will get a solution for it.
Actually, those ones who want to know the WhatsApp of URA, in case you want to talk to the customs, it's a 0772 140,000. 0772 140,000. That is the number of the URA in case you want to get the feedback. Or if you want to tap into the toll-free line, you call them on 0800 117 000. They'll actually be in position to pick it up. Discussing of all this, do you have informers at customs? Justin, do you have informers at customs?
Yes, we do have, but there is a division which deals with informers. It is mainly the enforcement
department
division within the customs department, which deals. Not everyone has that leeway to deal. There is specialized people who are dealing, because remember the law has to protect them.
Yeah, sure.
So they are gazetted or designated persons who are dealing with those.
That is in the customs.
Yeah, enforcement division.
Okay, let's talk about someone who has wrongly been, should I say, taxed at customs. How do they get their, how do they redeem the money that is been over, charged? In case the customs officer maybe made a quotation or an estimation that is way above the pedigree, what should have been paid. How do I come and do you have procedures how I come and I reclaim my money and I'm like, I paid actually 140 million, I should have paid 110 million?
Thank you very much. We have what we call the refunds unit in URA. This unit is in charge of all that. In case you pay wrong, you could be paying tax, you are paying import duty, and then you pay it on the wrong account, but it's all URA. We try to harmonize that. We have a refunds department that you apply to, and this money can be refunded to you.
Refunded to you?
Yes. How
long does it take? What is the turnaround time like?
The turnaround, I think it's a case by case. Some you'll find cases that will be will take longer than the others. So there are some non-tax revenues, like say permits and passports that you're going to pay, and then it will be shorter than if you pay, say, on a VAT account, something like that. So it's pretty a case by case basis.
Okay. Finally, to you, Justin, I want to understand, if I am an importer but I don't have a TIN number, how do I go about it?
TIN number, thank you once again. TIN numbers is handled by the domestic taxes unit. We have the offices there, and even when you use the help tool or the toll-free number, you can ask about, and they will direct you to the office which handles TIN registration.
TIN registration. And we can do this online, right?
Yes.
Okay. Well, the conversation seems to be getting to the end. We really want to thank those of you who are importers and exporters in the market. For manufacturers, what is very clear is that government has a couple of rewards in terms of incentives to make sure that you're competitive on the local market. Not only that, they're looking at the East African tariff and the rates and the commerce rates. So if you're one of those who is into importation, well, acquaint yourself with this information. It's on the website of the Uganda Revenue Authority. Finally, Henry, what are the stages of application talks about the items?
Stages of application, we have a number. First of all, let me explain what stage of application is.
Yes, first
because I might be speaking Latin.
Very much so.
to Uganda.
Yes.
So a stage of application is where a country like Uganda, depending on what their goal is, say you're looking at Vision 2040, you prioritize some sectors. So a state of application is where you apply to the EAC Secretariat and tell them, as Uganda, we have a rate of 35% on honey. But as Uganda, we have potential to produce what? This honey. So if the honey is being imported into Uganda, we ask that we apply a rate of 60%. So you're staying there, the rate of 35% in the CET and applying the 60%
on the other side
as Uganda. So that's a state of application. So we have items like honey, dairy products, where we have asked the EAC that Uganda, you please let us import this at 60%.
Yeah.
What is the motive behind this? We are trying to promote import substitution since we can produce these things here. In that way, we are making importation expensive, such that you will go to your neighbor, to your local supplier, and this helps also protect what our industries. So this is we are promoting bubu in the long run. These are stages of applications. This is where they apply, and then they can also apply on items that we can't produce, yet we need them. Say like wheat, we have it in the CET at 35%, but Uganda asked to import it at 10%.
Wow.
You understand?
That is
so you look at your sectors as a country, then see how to help these sectors grow.
The framework within. Very much so. Justin, you have your parting shots to the viewers, especially to the taxpayers.
Thank you once again. To our viewers and the taxpayers, we say you are the reason why we are here, and we are ready to serve you in case of any information, anything you want concerning this, because the time is not enough and we have not listed all the items where the incentives are provided. You can get in touch with us through those lines and the toll-free number wherever you are, so that more information can be availed to you as much as possible.
Thank you so much, Justin. Henry, what could you tell a Ugandan on the other side who is an importer, someone who has possibly failed to understand customs, but today they've gotten a little bit of the glist?
Thank you very much. I first and foremost, I want to say thank you for paying those taxes. We are moving. We want to develop together. Yeah. And those taxes are really pertinent to seeing us gain that economic independence and move away from the economic dependence on others. First and foremost, I would love to also to encourage our viewers and people who are tuned in to come and get tax TINs, the tax identification numbers. Yeah. That's how we shall grow this tax base, and then we shall move away from.
Thank you so much. Well, that is a conversation we've had today in our series of URA making sense of what they're doing. Remember, in the entire country, we have 7.2 Ugandans who are earning, but of these, it's only now 2.5 who are paying taxes. And this has just, been increased by 1 million. Previously, it was 1.5 million Ugandans. Now they're 2.5 million Ugandans. If you're one of those Ugandans who believes in your country, who loves your country, and you're loyal to your country, I think it's high time we actually all get compliant and we start to pay the taxes in time. Just remind you that there are new modalities and modifications that have been done at the customs. Acquaint yourself with them. And just remind you that please file your monthly returns not later than 15th August 2022. And last but not least, just so you know, visit your URA office within your closest proximity around the country, or give them a call on 0800 217 000. Give them a WhatsApp on 0772 140,000, or follow them on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram, and on their website www.ura.go.ug. I'm Andrew Chamagda. Until next time, when we return, you have a duty to protect your country, to build your country, and with URA, we can build the country together. Good afternoon.